Now we
Yes.
are on to their self-titled album from 2003, which I've only chosen one song from
Hmm.
because I think most of this album is like it's like good music but kind of forgettable. Whereas, um,
Ooh.
but there is one song which I do think genuinely
Was
stands out.
this the next album then that came out after White Pony?
Yes, yeah, I've chosen at least
Okay.
one song from all of their albums.
Ah, okay. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, so I've chosen Minerva, which I think stands out massively. And yeah, this kind of marks the end point of their early run because once you get to 2006, there's a lot more focus on the shoegaze side of the music. There's still like the metal still exists all the way through till the present, but I definitely feel like there is I definitely feel like a lot of people would consider that there's like a separation between the first four albums and the six that came after. Is kind of like all of the new metal side of them kind of gets put into the past after the self-titled album, and there's more focus on blending their sort of unique alternative metal with shoegaze once you get to Saturday Night Rest. But this song, Minerva, is sort of like it's like the last great classic of that early Deftones, I would say. There you go.
That is a very tasty instrumental. That was. I say this almost every time we start a new session. When we go to a new album or something, it just sounds different. It's the same kind of thing, but instrumentally, that was the most unique one we've had so far.
Yeah.
That's the theme. That is just a running theme every album we do that we start off with.
Yep. Yep. They evolve their
It's
sound with
crazy.
every album. It's great. It's great when
That
bands do
was
that.
that was such a. I got a sense of like foreboding, like tension.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
Yeah. It was very epic sounding, I think, is the word I'd use.
Epic foreboding sort of tone from like just the instrumental alone.
Yeah. Sounds very big, like it's in a coliseum. My favorite sound in the song comes from the end of the chorus when it goes wee 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 wee. So it's such a payoff. And then of course, Chino's like very concise and impactful vocals as well. I get oh no. So God bless you all for the song you sing. With that, guitar going on.
Solid. Just the instrument, the guitar is always such a when guitars are done so well in a song and it fits so well instrumentally, it's such a great vibe just to listen to. And this one, I think in particular, just like the sort of actual like tone of it was just it gets yourself just in a
I love the small sound that bursts and explodes at the start. It's very satisfying. And then that small sound comes back around at the very end as well. And it comes full circle.
great stuff.
The name comes from Minerva, which is the Roman goddess of wisdom, war, art, schools, and commerce. She was the Etruscan counterpart to the Greek Athena. I think the reason why I may have chosen this is that actually this album is one of the heaviest. However, this is the exception. This is the more shoegaze focused song. And kind of talking about like a lot of the time bands will sort of try out different things and then they'll see what the most popular thing was on their previous album and then kind of incorporate into their next one. And so I was sort of thinking about how when they did White Pony, they noticed how popular a song like Be Quiet and Drive Far Away was. And so with how popular Minerva was on this album, this is kind of more of what they would do when they get to Saturday Night Rest. And so it's like the reaction I feel like the reason why they were pushed in such a shoegaze direction in the mid 2000s is because it was the songs that were working the most around this time were in that sort of style. Because I feel like you listen to a song like Minerva and it is, it is a loud song, but it doesn't feel like heavy metal to me. This definitely feels different to heavy metal. It's got this very sort of spacey and almost it doesn't have those really punchy. It doesn't have as much of the punchiness. It's got more of like an atmosphere. It's got more of a sort of a nervous emotion. The meaning of the song. You may have remembered when some of the lyrics from the last two albums, a lot of it was about the toxic relationship he was having.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, this is a song about how him and his girlfriend broke up so many times that her saying it's over doesn't make him feel any emotions because he's so numb after all the times he's heard it. Yeah, that's the meaning of this song, really. And he has linked it to the Roman goddess Minerva. It's like he's thanking Minerva for it being over or whoever contributed to it being over. It's just like he's like fucking ended already.
Very just
Yeah.
on on tone for
It,
most of them, most
and
of these songs.
he also accuses her of being a heartbreaker as well. You know, that line in the chorus of "For the hearts you break every time you moan." It's the idea that like every time she has sex with someone else, she breaks their heart. And it's like kind of it's like this damage. It's just this sort of wrecking damage that this woman is capable of. And that's part of the reason why he's just like so he's just so ready for her to just go away forever rather than, you know, being on and off and on and off and on and off, because he knows he can't resist himself. He knows he's so attached that he can't help but allow her back in, but what he really needs is for her to go away and not come back. So again, it's like it's not just this, as opposed to what we had before, which was toxic and being in a relationship. This is toxic and breaking up and then coming back together and then breaking up again and again and again and again. And it's to the point where he feels numb and doesn't, you know, he doesn't feel any shock anymore. He just sort of like, oh yeah, going through this again. I think the more sort of numb sounding guitar tones in the instrumental, the very shoegazy approach, it fits the story it's trying to tell. Because it's like, you know, it's not a shock anymore. I just feel so spacey and numb and weird. But great song. And, you know, kind of as I said, like Chino's vocal style is great.
Oh yeah, always a good listen. That.
Yeah.
No, just really, really solid stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoyable stuff.